Hi guys, I'm Razmeek, and in this video, we find out who these people really are and what was their purpose. Why did Camera Woman's memories end at this point? And yet, who does the tablet belong to? Why doesn't the secret agent intervene? What happened to TV Woman? What did you not notice in this snippet? Why was G-Man speaking in English? This and much more in this video. So be sure to watch to the end so you don't miss any interesting moments. Well, of course, make some tea and grab some goodies as you're going to enjoy the next 10 minutes a lot. All right, let's go. Dafuk Boom has finally posted episode 73. Yes, this episode didn't come out faster than episode 72, but all our expectations were met, as this is the only episode where you can see the full character reveal. And in general, we haven't had such nostalgia for a long time. I suggest our analysis to start traditionally with the description under this video. Yes, who doesn't know? Dafuk Boom adds a secret phrase in the description under his video every time, and this series is no exception. You're about to be surprised. This has never happened before. It just says, "Ah." Some people are probably going to get hurt. Before we start this analysis, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and put a like on this video. By doing so, you will help our channel a lot, because at the moment most of you are watching the video without subscribing, and as you remember, we have a dream to make the balance of the universe. Well, if we get 45 likes, I will publish the second part of the analysis of this series. Alright, that's enough words. Let's get to the analysis. For some reason, episode 73 starts with the third part of episode 70. It's that sad episode where Plunderman and Black Speakerman die heroically. And here's a little fact. We've already watched this episode from 3 angles, and that's just the beginning. And here's a continuation of that scene, but from the Camera Woman. This is actually very important information because I'll be revealing all the details very soon. Episode 73 so far is exactly the same as the third part of episode 70. But only from the first-person Camera Woman's point of view. Look at how perfectly Dafuk has crafted this series, put everything together quite harmoniously. And the best part, as it turns out, it was all a flashback, a Camera Woman's memory. Next we get to the second part of episode 57. Yeah, that's right, because it was in this episode that we noticed the Camera Woman was right here on the left. As we remember, it was in this episode that the agents did manage to rescue the Titan Speakerman, but it's still a flashback. After these events, we appear in episode 52. Yes, it is in that episode where we are first introduced to Vuma's camera. But it needs to be emphasized here. Yes, she appeared in episode 52, but that in no way means she didn't do anything before episode 52. Episode 38 confirms what I'm saying. And by the way, this is a new angle on this very episode. We even get a glimpse of the infected big cameraman here. As it turns out, Plunderman has been familiar with the cameraman for a long time. As we can see, even in the cameraman's lab. That is, in episode 23, Plunderman and Cameraman knew each other. But that's not all. Let's take a look at Plunderman. You'll notice that his right leg is missing. In the next shot, you'll see why. And so, we've moved on to episode 14. And by the way, we immediately notice Simp Cameraman. And for some reason, he's also sitting on the toilet, like he did in episode 54. And yes, even here we notice Plungerman. And he's even giving the likes, Cameraman Woman. But as you remember, there was one very strong toilet in this episode that just crushed everyone, even his allies. Here he destroyed almost all the agents, even the cameraman in red. By the way, I have a separate analysis about him. You can watch this video. It appeared on the top right corner. Next we hear a metal Skibidi Toilet crawling, destroying everyone in its path. Now, it's time to tell why Plungerman lost his right leg in this scene. It seems to me that everything is clear to you already, and there is no need to explain anything here. Well, the most interesting thing is that we have moved to the very beginning of Camera Woman's memories, namely September 16, 1985. That's the day that Camera Woman was created in the morning, and they have a very interesting conversation.
Dave, look back.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Okay, we're all set. Proceed with phase 1, I think.
Okay. Opening the gate.
This is actually one of Dafuk Bomb's genius scenes. There's a very interesting detail that not everyone has noticed. First, we saw live people after a few dozen episodes, albeit in the past. Many people started to think that these people were the cameramen. That's not entirely true. These people are only 1% related to the cameramen, and now we'll smoothly get to the most interesting part. But first, we need to emphasize that we're only noticing 2 scientists here. And Katie and Dave, they're probably engineers, or they're also scientists, but without the white suit. And I think the Camera Woman is the first camera-like human invention. But that's not all I'd like to share with you. As soon as the Camera Woman wakes up, she immediately sees her creator in front of her, and further, As Kate walks up to Dave, she turns to the camera woman and shows a barking gesture. The camera woman, of course, recorded the whole thing. After Dave turns Kate down, a few seconds later he still looks back and he sees Keith's creation. And as we can tell from his gesture, he likes it. Camera woman, of course, recorded all those gestures. She realized with her artificial intelligence that the barking gesture was a good thing. It really is. Like this video. Yeah, I did. So camera woman is just mimicking them, and then we notice that they activate something, and then the tape cuts out. And I have some sad news. The tape cuts out because they're all dead, except for the camera woman. Who knows, maybe this is the very beginning of the Skibidi virus, but I'm not so sure. I would claim it 100% if I saw a place of blue color, at least yellow color, since yellow, as we know, is the color from the toilet's demise. So there you go. After that, the tape is interrupted, and that's the end of the camera woman's recollection, and that's where a lot of people are wrong too. A lot of people think this tablet belongs to camera woman, and they think she's number 69, but that is certainly not the case, as Plungerman is under that number. Let me explain. Yes, I know that Plungerman has never picked up his tablet. Of course, I'm not going to say that this tablet belongs to camera woman, because it doesn't. You can clearly see in this shot that this tablet belongs to Cameraman, not Camera Woman. Well, since the Camera Woman was the first camera-like invention of humans, her tablet should say Camera Woman 01. I'm about to make another argument that this tablet is the property of Plungerman. And so, it's safe to say that episode 73 begins right here, as we see 3 agents descend from the camera helicopter, and one of them is the Vantisman's camera. We immediately notice the enhancements on her hands. Well, we first noticed these enhancements in the first part of episode 70. Next, Camera Woman lands on the Skibidi Toilet, which was shown in the second spoiler. And of course, she tackles that toilet, and here comes that second argument. The Camera Woman pulls out the Plungerman's plunger, and then she just kills the toilet. And then the question immediately becomes, where did she get that weapon? Well, it's time to recap. Part 3 of episode 70. Camera Woman says goodbye to Plungerman and takes Plungerman's plunger and Plungerman's tablet. And since we've never seen Plungerman have a tablet, I'm assuming that this is his tablet, and the number isn't too high, just 69, because Plungerman has been with us since the first episodes, and as we know with the other cameramen, that number goes up to over 1,000, and then the camera woman takes the toilet, throws grenades at it, and blows it up. On the right, we notice a big wounded cameraman, as well as an engineer without a left arm. Even the engineer himself shows it. Camera woman, of course, helps him to his feet. And this is where we first see the eye scan of the camera woman. After marking 5 toilets, she destroyed all of them with just one shot. And here, of course, it should be mentioned that we first noticed this ability in the 52nd episode. That's when it first appeared. And after she destroyed everyone, you can notice one character on the right. Very mysterious and mysterious. I think you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the secret agent, because he's right here. He's just standing there watching everybody. He's basically doing his usual thing, but for some reason he's not glowing. And by the way, if you want a new analysis on him, let's get 50 likes. The agents continue to storm the area in a Skibidi toilet, but then a new hybrid toilet appears from somewhere. I'll tell you, this is a new version, as we've never seen such a pumped-up hybrid toilet before. After he sees the camera woman, he wants to destroy it, but then Skibidi the scientist saves it. Yes, you didn't hear that. As Skibidi the scientist flies in from behind her and destroys all the Skibidi toilets in his path. How is that possible, you ask? Because the scientist died in the 3rd installment of episode 70. Yeah, that's right. So inside the scientist's skeleton, TV woman, you can see it from behind this hole. As we remember, the big cameraman used a laser weapon to make a small hole inside the scientist, and that's how TV woman accessed the suit. Next, camera woman thanks TV woman for saving her from the hands of a hybrid skybidist. Next, we notice 4 containers. And as you may have noticed, they get bigger and bigger with each episode. As we know, one of the containers holds the Skibidi scientist's unfinished invention. And since the agents know about this, the Skibidi toilets have gone for a little trickery. They purposely use multiple containers to distract their attention. So in this episode, we are now shown 4 containers, but only one of them contains the Skibidi scientist's unfinished invention, and it's clearly not in this container, or the invention is in this container after all. We'll talk about that later. Of course, G-Man is a bit shocked here as he sees his teacher, Skibidi the scientist. You can see from his face that he doesn't really want to destroy him. He probably already realized that Skibidi the scientist is a fake, and after he already realized, kills Skibidi the scientist. As a reminder, TV woman was there. You might have thought that TV woman blew up too, but no, of course it didn't. As we know, TV man can teleport. I'm 100% sure that's exactly what TV woman did. In fact, have you ever seen a TV woman race Los? More specifically, have you seen a single TV woman get eliminated? I haven't, since it's the strongest race among agents. Well, let's talk about this container that fell. I still think that's where the scientist's invention is. First of all, G-Man here stood right in front of this container, and as we can see, defended it. Second, if this is a fake container, why do these Johns want to take this container a second time and carry it out of here? Wouldn't it be easier to just leave this container here in the desert and fly away and not risk their lives? After all, these toilets with 3 containers have already flown away. As we can see, these toilets want to save this container at the cost of their lives, but they can't do it because they are undercut by the Speakerman Titan. Yeah, you didn't hear it. It was an audio reference, and it's actually a sound. The Valve intro, and Valve is Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 is some characters from Skibidi Toilet. So anyway, that's kind of it. But after Titan the Speaker appears, then Titan the Cameraman appears. And then at the end, TV Man Titan shows up, with one very confident phrase. He tells G-Man that there is nowhere to run to, as he is surrounded by Titans. To which, in English, Jimin replies, "You have no idea what awaits you." And yes, don't be surprised that G-Man speaks English. After all, that's what Dafook already told us about, that Skibidi Toilets know many languages, and that they chose the most difficult language to speak, Skibidi language. After G-Man's threats, G-Man also responds to him pathetically. After that, the super mega epic action begins, which we will only see in the second part of the 73rd episode. This is how the first part of this episode ends. This is the best episode where the characters are revealed, as we saw the whole story of Kamira Voom. It's not for nothing that Dofuk said that episode 73 was his favorite. Similarly, he talked about the 74th episode, but we won't see the 74th episode for a while, as we should expect the second part of the 73rd episode. Well, that's all for now. I suggest you check out my other analysis at the end. And Razmak was with you. We'll see you in other videos. Bye, everybody.